Good evening. We are studying one of this week's parashiot. It's a double parasha, so it's Chukat and Balak. We're going to be learning a little about Chukat. And the way this parasha begins is Zot Chukat HaTorah. This is the statute of the Torah, like as if this is the entire statute, so to speak. This is establishing a connection between the type of mitzvot that are called chukim and the entire Torah. This word chok comes from the root of to engrave. And usually when you physically engraving something, it's a hard job. And in a sense, this is teaching us one of the first keys in our commitment to the Torah to make the divine potential that we each possess grow and blossom. We need to sometimes put in this hard work. Another lesson which we receive from this word chuk and the chok, like an engravement, can be appreciated when we compare writing and engraving. When one writes, the surface upon which we wrote and the ink which we used remain two separate entities. It's just that the ink is becoming on top of it, so to speak. However, when someone does engraving on stone, so to speak, or on wood, the writing and the stone become a single entity. They are inseparable. So this teaches us the importance of really internalizing Torah, making the teachings of the Torah part of our being. So there's an advantage to sometimes when we even compel ourselves to observe Torah, even if it's against our nature. But truly the deepest commitment to this service is when we truly remake our nature to reflect this will, and that's the engraving, that it became a part of us. So the Chukim teach us that the person in the Torah, we should become one entity, not separate, not like the ink and the paper, rather it becomes engraved on us. And this approach really brings to true growth, because we proceed past the limited perspectives, our own perception, and we go into the unlimited levels which the Torah brings us to. And these teachings that we said, that the Torah becomes an engravement on us, leads to a third interpretation of chokim, of this word of engraving, that the term refers to the dimensions of the Torah which surpass our understanding. So when a person develops their commitment to Torah, the person comes to the awareness that every facet of the Torah, even those which appear to be within the grasp of our mortal intellect, really they are above limitation, because the Torah is a wisdom. Just as the Rambam Maimonides says, a created being cannot truly comprehend the Creator, so we cannot comprehend God's attributes. As He is the knower, He is the knowledge itself, it's one. So in a sense, the Torah is really, even when we do understand our intellect, so to speak, it's higher.